Hello darlings, how the devil are we? So, thank you again for all the kind words. I am slowly but surely getting better. Well, being laden up all day sick has given me some time to kind of skim the news, and I gotta say it is a little bit bare bones at the moment, but a few things have cropped up that have made me go, what is this? And one of those in particular was a story about Ghostwire being delayed. Now, the immediate question that screamed out at me was, well, what on earth is Ghostwire? Because for someone who likes to keep their finger on the pulse of gaming releases, this one seems to have slipped on by. Anyway, turns out I must have been asleep in 2019 because this was when it was announced by Bethesda, more specifically at the E3 convention, when we still used to be able to go to the shows. Anyway, so I took it upon myself to dig up everything I could about this game, and hopefully you'll learn something new and maybe find a new title that you want to play somewhere down the line. So the development house that is building this game is Tango Gameworks, and you've probably heard them because they were responsible for making The Evil Within and The Evil Within 2. And the publisher behind them is definitely someone you'll recognise because it is Bethesda. But interestingly enough, this was a Bethesda before Microsoft bought them. And why is this important, you may ask? It is because of what console and platform it's currently being released on. Because originally it was set to be on the PlayStation 5 and Windows, and now it's going to be on Xbox, but that won't be coming out to a later date. So let's talk about the game a bit anyway. So it is an action FPS. It's built on the Unreal 4 engine, and as far as I know, it is currently a single player experience, so keeping in the same vein as The Evil Within. And looking through the trailer, the initial experience I got was somewhere between martial arts meets magic meets Ghostbusters, and it looked really, really cool. There aren't too many details about the plot, but I can tell you it takes place in Tokyo, and it surrounds the events that basically one day everyone just suddenly disappears. And there are piles of underpants and clothes everywhere, and the city gets invaded by what's called visitors or spirits. And this is where you come in with your supernatural powers of ghost ass kicking and are responsible for sending them back to where they come from and unraveling the plot of what actually happened to everyone. Now, when it comes to standard FPS games, you usually associate them, at least, or I do, is like with guns, and you use your guns to kind of like pew people down. In this, it was all very much hand-based movement, and it's these movements that you use to cast your spells. Now, my only experience of this was my vast hours as a child watching tons and tons of Naruto, so I had to research and find out what it was actually called. So my findings found out that it was actually called Kuji Kiri. And according to Wikipedia, this is like a set of hand gestures, and it's used in various like old school martial arts, and they're made up of 9 symbolic cuts. Now, I don't know if they have any overlap with the game, but if you are an expert and you recognise them, please do let me know in the comments because it would be really, really cool. But the 9 cuts nonetheless, I don't know if they end up going to be some sort of weapon symbols that you can use in the game, but they are Rin, which is power, Pyo, which is direction of energy, To, which is harmony with nature, Sha, which is healing of oneself, Kai, which is premonition of danger, Jin, which is knowing the thoughts of others, Retsu, which is dimension, Zai, which is creation, and Zen, which is enlightenment. So again, I don't know if they have any relationship to the game, but I imagine there's going to be some sort of overlap, and yeah, those were the 9 cuts. If you've played The Evil Within, you will know that Tango Gameworks, if they do anything right, is setting up really, really cool atmospheres, or at least atmospheres that relate to the game's context. And I gotta say, they have done another phenomenal job. The atmosphere really, really gives you that strong kind of feel that you are in a Tokyo-esque environment. And I also like the kind of Eastern influenced horror spirit vibe they've gone for. It looked really cool, really distinct, and really powerful. It's also got this kind of cool glitchy vibe to it as well. And you know how some games, when they're trying to go for like you're in a digital kind of experience and things are like you get big blocky pixels, well, there's a lot of that put in the game as well, and you can see that in the abilities that are used, and say when you attack an enemy enough that you expose its core and do your final kill on it. I probably should say this because there are a lot of horror enthusiasts out there, and when they play the horror games they want the bejesus scared out of them. My vibe is that it isn't going for this. So while there is a strong kind of evilness, horrorness to it, and I expect there will be some jumpy kind of suspense moments in it, I get the vibe is all about, the action and punching and kicking and just feeling like a badass while you're doing it. And I got a bit of that vibe in The Evil Within as well, except I do feel that maybe it lent a little bit more towards the horror, and this time they're going in the other direction. I could also be completely wrong here, but I'm just going by the trailer and what I'm experiencing. And they're also showcasing a lot of action rather than kind of like, you know, keeping you in a moment where you're just holding your breath waiting for the evil to pop out. Now, in terms of progression and how you go through the game, I do feel this is kind of like puts you into a tunnel, much like, so there will be a bit of a rail system that you do follow, and you know, each scene follows on from the next, rather than it being like this big open world experience. But saying that, there are also a couple of vehicles that it showcased. It didn't show you actually controlling them, but it definitely showed you on the roads on a motorbike at some point. So now, for all those who are excited for the new release, I do have some disappointing news for you. It has currently been delayed. So it was originally meant to release this year in 2021. They have said that they haven't really been happy with the final product and they want to be able to create it to its fullest experience. So they've pushed it back to 2022. Now, I'm sure some of you and myself as well thought, oh, well, this is because they want to release it onto the Xbox at the same time. This is actually incorrect. So Phil Spencer, with the buyout, he said that they are respecting all original contractual agreements with Sony before they bought them out. So what will happen is this will come out as a PS5 and Windows exclusive for 1 year, and then it will come out on the Xbox, which means the Xbox release won't be till 2023. So if you own an Xbox, it's really, really bad news. Anyway, this looks like it could be a fun one. The Evil Within was a really, really good series. I'm certainly excited to see what comes out of it, and as more footage and gameplay, etc. comes to us. I'm really interested, though, to find out what you guys think of this. What do you think of the new direction that they've gone into? Did you enjoy The Evil Within 1 and 2, for example? Lots and lots of questions. And also, as previously mentioned, if you have any experience with kind of like those hand symbols that they're using, do tell me how it works, etc. I'll be really, really interested to find out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So thanks for listening. Remember, everyone, please stay healthy and look after yourselves. And I'll be back with more news soon.